Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Robert White. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Krylios. I'm glad to be here.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us, Councilmember White. Before we talk about your re-election campaign for one of the at-large seats at the DC Council, which is a citywide seat, please tell our viewers a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah, so very briefly, I'm a fifth generation Washingtonian, grew up here, worked for our city out of law school as legislative counsel to Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, continued to serve our city in public service at the Office of the Attorney General under Rayceen, and I've been on the DC Council for the past 7 years. I'm in my second term. I now chair the Housing Committee, which also has jurisdiction over human services, and I've spent a lot of time focused on education, returning citizens, housing, and in public safety.
Awesome. Well, it is great to have you here, and you're running for re-election. So give our viewers a little insight into why that is.
So the city is in a historic moment right now. When we look at what's happening in this country around virtual work and AI technology, which is changing where people work, how they work, what jobs are available, but also looking at crime really spiral in our city and our economy start to get very weak with the loss of 2 professional sports teams and a shrinking office market downtown. This is a time where we need people who have a vision for the city and know how to get things done. And that's what I bring to the table here. I have focused on rebuilding our housing authority. I have focused on expanding affordable housing, making sure we get people who are living in encampments into housing. I go into issues, I find what the problem is, and I work to fix those problems. That's the type of leadership we need right now as the city is in this moment where the next coming decades in front of us are going to be very bright. It'll be if we make the right pivots, or they're going to be very difficult if we don't. So who we elect right now matters. And what I'm saying to the people of the District of Columbia is that I know how to get things done. I have a vision for the city, and I'm going to stay focused on the people.
Councilmember White, you've mentioned a handful of issues. You've talked about housing and safety and technology. Can you share with us what your top 3 issues are and how you will focus on them?
Yeah, absolutely. My top 3 issues are, I think, the top 3 issues for most people in the city. It is public safety, it is the future of our economy and downtown, and it is housing. On public safety, I drafted a public safety bill that had the support of almost every member of the council, and most of the provisions are in the public safety bill that the council is going to vote on soon. I focus on fixing the actual problems. If you call 911 and don't get an answer, we can't hold people accountable. The city doesn't get safer. If the police arrest people and they don't get prosecuted, as is happening right now, we can't hold people accountable. The city doesn't get safer. So instead of talking points, instead of just pointing the fingers, I'm figuring out what's wrong and I'm working to fix those things, and we're making real progress. On housing, I'm focused on public housing first. We work to reform the board of the DC Housing Authority. I've worked to get new leadership in that agency. I've worked to get dedicated funding for repair and maintenance so we can improve the state of affairs with our public housing. And I have lit a fire in oversight to really start a transformation of this agency that people are going to see in a real way now that we have all the right pieces in place. And underlying basically every issue we're seeing in our city, from homelessness to crime to what's happening with our young people, underlying that is a mental health crisis. And so as I've looked at these issues and where the hangups are, where the problems are, what I've realized is we just don't have enough mental health professionals, including social workers. So that's a pipeline problem. So I worked with the University of the District of Columbia to create a free master's in social work program. That program will be up and running around this time next year so that we can help get people from homelessness into housing, so that we can step in for our young people who are facing mental health crises, and so that people who know they need mental health professionals, as all of us do, can actually find some. So really addressing these pipeline issues. Again, what I stress to people is anybody can point to the problems, but we need people in office who can help find solutions and who can work with folks to get that done.
Awesome, awesome. Tell us, council member, why are you the best choice for voters this election cycle?
Krylios, I appreciate that question. It's an important one. When people go to the voting booth, what I want them to think about is who can get things done and who's going to be focused on the people. And if you look at my track record, the supports that I've worked with colleagues on the council to create for returning citizens, whether it's transportation stipends, housing vouchers, assistance with finding jobs, voting rights. When you look at what we've needed to do for many years on the housing authorities to really start reforming that agency, when we think about the work that I've done with colleagues to start to address the backlog in our housing vouchers leading to these expanding tent encampments in our city, I want people to say, you know what? I know Robert White's work. I know he's focused on the people, and I know he knows how to get things done and how to work with people to do that. So I'm the best choice in this election cycle, because in this historic moment for DC, I'm going to get things done. I have a vision for our future, and I'm going to keep pushing in the right direction.
Thank you. Council member, can you share with our viewers what is your favorite thing about being a council member?
Oh, favorite thing about being a council member? Well, it is it's the personal satisfaction. I'm in this space for however long I'm here to make a real difference in the city that I grew up in. And as a dad, I think about what type of city I want my girls to grow up in. And I always kind of think about the impact that the work I do makes on people. And in local government, which is very different than like when I worked in Congress, I worked all day and night, but you couldn't see the fruits of those labor. In the council, the things that we're working on, the programs that we're creating and strengthening are helping like my neighbors, and I see it in real time. And so I feel incredibly fulfilled by this work because of the close proximity to people, but also my ability to just talk to people about what they're experiencing, whether it's students in our schools, people living in tent encampments, to understand what they're going through and to be able to help them get through it is just something that gives me so much fulfillment.
Great. Council member, share with us all the details about voting. When does voting start? What are the ways people can vote? We like to share the how part of getting involved and voting in our elections.
I appreciate it. Most importantly, vote. Whoever you vote for, please vote, because it does matter. We have a Democratic primary on June 4th. So I hope to see you at the polls, or you can do early voting before then. You can vote by mail. You can show up to the precincts early, but at least by June 4th, please cast your ballot in the Democratic primary. And then we have our general election on November 5th. And so that's a little ways away. But in that time, scrutinize who's running, look at their ideas, attend a meet and greet. Even if you're not sure if you're going to like them, show up, ask the hard questions. That's how we empower ourselves as informed voters. So I want people to get involved, scrutinize everybody running, and vote for the person that you believe is going to move your interest in your city forward.
Awesome. I love that. And just shouting out, us here at Team Rayceen, if you're a viewer and you don't know how to keep up with, everyone who is running and all the candidates, make sure that you're here so that you are able to see all those other candidates. And please tell us, council member, how can viewers keep up with you, keep up with your campaign, all the updates, and of course, support your campaign?
That's right. Please do support. You can see what we're doing. You can engage with us on social media. That is on Facebook, Robert for DC, FOR DC. On Twitter and Instagram, it is Robert White _DC, Robert White _DC. You'll see us out in the community getting petition signatures. You'll see us doing meet and greets in communities, community conversations and events. I'm all over the city all the time, and you can get information there to plug in. If you want to volunteer, we need volunteers. If you want a yard sign, if you want to donate, you can find all of that through our social media engagement. And I do hope that you'll engage with us.
Viewers, please look in the description below for links. You can find all of the information about how to connect with and learn more about Councilmember Robert White and his re-election campaign for an at-large seat on the DC Council. Thank you, Councilmember, for joining us, and we look forward to watching your campaign unfold over the next several months.
Thanks so much, Erin. Thanks so much, Krylios, and thanks so much to all of Team Rayceen.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media.
And click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, vlogs, forums, and more. And while you're there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, viewers, thank you for watching.